Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Denise and I'm a certified athletic trainer. Today I wanted to do a question and answer again. I love getting any kind of comment or question about your own life, your specific workout routine, anything that's like work related where you're having pain with work, or an athlete who's having injuries. I just love answering you guys' questions. So a few days ago I received a question from Israel and I'll post it here.
Looking for a routine that doesn't put any weight on my lower back in order to lose weight and keep up with my 7 and 8-year-old daughters, having trouble with sit-ups and crunches.
And what really made me want to answer this question is that he wrote that sit-ups and crunches aren't helping. And I think I've heard this probably from everybody, every athlete that I've worked with, that weren't getting the results that they wanted just from doing crunches and sit-ups. So I'm going to get into that a little bit more and show you guys the textbooks that I've used recently in like a continuing education course. Low back disorders from Stuart McGill has been really eye-opening and very research-based, especially when it comes to doing things for the spine in a flex position or an extended position. He's literally connected electrodes to each muscle group to see what's firing, what's helping during certain exercises. So I'll get into that in a little bit. One good quote from the book, which I totally agree with, is those training for health never need to perform a sit-up. When they did all their studies on the act of doing a sit-up or a crunch, they actually found that a sit-up puts approximately 3,300 newtons, or in pounds, that's 730 pounds of compression on the spine. The last thing you want to do is compress your spine even further than it already is compressed on a daily basis, especially when we're sitting a lot for our jobs. So a few ill-advised recommendations in this book that I found agreeable to myself were, and these are things you don't want to do, to strengthen the muscles in the torso to protect the back. When we're working our spine, we want to think more like doing muscular endurance for your spine versus actually like strengthening for reps. So an example of that would be, as opposed to doing 30 sit-ups, think about doing like a plank hold, working your way up from maybe like 10 to 20 seconds all the way up to like a minute to 2 minutes. And I'll show you that here. Here's an example.
So when doing a plank, you can also start on your knees if this is too challenging for you. You just want to make sure you squeeze your quads, your thighs, and your belly up.
Of course, you will get some strengthening with those two as well. But think a little bit more endurance, so something where you're holding a little bit longer to work your spine, because it protects it. And we do endurance things all day in our jobs, in our lives. Anything from gardening all the way to sitting at work, to running errands, getting in and out of a car, getting in and out of a bed. These things all take spinal stability and muscular endurance to perform. Here's another ill-advised recommendation. So this is being a little facetious here, but performing sit-ups will increase your back health. So is this true or not? There is an organization, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, and they actually set a limit for your back when you're bending, when you're lifting. They set a limit in force per newton or in pounds that you don't want to go over, because it can result in injury, especially if you're repeatedly doing these things. So around 3,000 newtons, or around 175 pounds of force, is their limit of what they want to put on your back to help you from getting injured. And guess what? Each sit-up produces a lower back compression that's close to that standard. So here are some suggestions that can help you with lower back pain, and also some things not to do when you're doing a workout to further injure your back. So number 1, try to do fast walking. So that's not like a stroll at the mall. That's not just like doing things around the house. That's actually fast walking. So when you're walking fast, you are getting compressive loads to the spine, meaning like your muscles are pulling in every direction, obviously. But it doesn't even come close to the strain and the pull on your back when you're doing sit-ups. And swinging your arms can actually facilitate um, almost like a pain-reducing response because your muscles are working together and you're getting that good blood flow and kind of like a stretch through your muscles as well as strengthening them. So that's my first suggestion. Go for a fast walk. Try to do it once a day if you can. If that's not possible, then at least a few times a week. Number 2, look at your form when you're doing work tasks. So whether it be bending, lifting, or sitting, make sure you're checking your form when you're doing these. And this book is so great, I'm telling you. The writer, he talks about, things that are kind of unheard of. So if you've been sitting a while, the typical office chair or office setup will give you like the ergonomic chair and, make sure you're sitting up and everything's at like a 90-degree angle and all that stuff, which is good, but really only for about 10 minutes because your spine gets tired from holding you in that position. So the author actually suggests moving your positions around, changing your positions, different angles every so often, and it can kind of throw your body off a little bit where it has to adjust to that new angle. So then it's using, new muscles and stuff like that. So just think about it. And also, if you're bending, the recommended thing is to bend at the knees and not at the waist. That's a little bit old school. Yes, you want to do that with certain things, but if you're just kind of like reaching to pick something up or something like that, it's best to do the golf pickup. I forget what it's called. The golf swing pickup. I'll show you here.
So when you go down to reach, you want to keep your lower back in line with your leg that comes up. So it's all one straight line. So here's slow motion for you. You see how my back's not bending at all, and that way you can protect it better. This is also how you'll see a golfer pick up his golf ball.
So this way your back is staying in line, kind of like a seesaw, and it's not moving too much, which can help with not aggravating your back if you're trying to bend and pick something up. So number 3, of course, I say this all the time with my friends and family, try to minimize your sitting time as much as possible. Our bodies were meant to move, so that's what they want to do, and that's when they feel their best is when we're moving. So there really is no substitute to actually getting up out of your chair throughout the day. One good thing is just to get up and stretch your arms overhead, kind of extend back a little bit if that doesn't hurt you too bad. And do this periodically, even if you have to set a timer on your phone or something. And once you're up standing, give a good inhale, like, because a lot of people, we kind of shallow breathe and stuff. We're not getting a lot of oxygen. So when you're up and standing, just do a quick inhale. Hopefully your coworkers won't think you're too weird or anything, but this can really help if you make it a habit throughout your day. And then the last thing I wanted to suggest is working on your glutes and your hips. A lot of our lower back support actually comes from our glutes. So our butt, our booty, whatever you want to call it, it comes from our glutes. Just think about it. That's your power. That's your drive when you're trying to get up from sitting, going to standing. When you're sprinting, when you're running, that's our power and that's our drive. So when you're doing your workouts, try to involve a few hip and glute exercises. So a spine-friendly exercise that can help with that is called the bird dog. And I'll show you that here. I'm going to be a bird dog.
So starting with the flat back, you want to raise the opposite hand to the opposite leg, either one, and you just want to hold for about 10 to 15 seconds. You can also swing out the arm and the leg to make it a little bit harder like I showed you. And here, then you're going to switch. Opposite arm, opposite leg, holding your belly in tight. This again is more like muscular endurance, so you're holding for a period of time. And you can do maybe 5 to 10 on each side.
So by extending your leg out, you're actually working your glute. Another thing you can do is just doing squats and lunges. Lunges are probably the number one lower body exercise for myself. They tone you up so quick and you don't have to do too many of them. So maybe time yourself for a minute or two a day and just try to do some walking lunges. and incorporate that in your workout, or even in your fast walk. You can stop and do some lunges, or start out and do some lunges, and that can really warm your body up for your fast walk.
So make sure you're keeping your back knee straight down towards the floor. And you will get some balance checks on this too, which is also good for the core. So you'll see me here, balance check.
So I mentioned the bird dog and the plank. And those are two of the best exercises you can do to safely work your core and your abs and your back without hurting yourself too much. Some ones that you want to stay away from are lower back extensions. So you know how you tuck your, how do you say it? You bend over that machine and you have your feet hooked in and you're kind of holding on. Then you bring your lower back up and down that way. That's not the best for your lower back. So if you can get an extension through doing a bird dog, that's much better and much safer for your back. It's putting less torque and less pull on your spine. So instead of sit-ups, do planks. I already talked about that a little bit. Work your way up. And also, don't forget to do side planks, which are one of the best exercises that can actually get your belly to contract, to actually show that you might have a six-pack. So by doing side planks on your elbow, it works your obliques here. And don't forget, a good tip when doing side planks is to exhale. So active exhalation, like that, breathing out, actually activates the obliques a little bit more, the side muscles, your love handles, as everyone calls them.
So turning on your side for a side plank, you're going to lift at the hips, still staying on the elbow, squeezing your belly. And if this is too tough, go down on your knees. And you just want to exhale and hold for about 10 to 15 seconds.
And then one more thing I want to talk about, what to stay away from, is doing, now I'm a yogi, I love yoga, but doing a full boat pose has been proven to be one of the most compressive loads on your spine. So that's when, or some people call it Superman, a full Superman. So when you're on your belly and you're doing full arms and legs extended up, so it actually puts close to 6,000 newtons of force on a hyperextended spine. So that's over 1,300 pounds of force through your spine compressing. So if you have to do something similar to it, you can do one leg and one arm at a time, opposite arm, opposite leg. But again, doing the bird dog is probably your best bet. So I hope that helped you guys, and I hope you learned something today. If you do have any video requests or any questions about an injury or an exercise routine, please comment below or go to my main page and comment there. I just love hearing from you guys, and it motivates me to keep doing these videos. So thank you for your question, Israel. And if you're not subscribed already, I want you guys to live your best life possible, and that means as healthy as you can, as pain-free as you can. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I really appreciate all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! So the last thing you want to do is compress. Oh, they're doing construction next door. Ah! Sorry, Baba. I hit you in the face. So or start out and do some lunges. And don't forget one of the